Hello, my name is Kimura. I'm Social Welfare Equipment Advisor, Certified Social Worker, and Care Worker in Japan. Thank you very much for giving me a chance to present to you about Japanese traditional food and assistive device. I start from self-introduction. I was brought up in Malaysia and Singapore, 1980s, and graduated from Nihon Fukushi University, which is #1 social worker human development. I also learned participatory approach to community development in the University of the Philippines, 1995 and 1996. I have been working as social worker, care worker, and social welfare equipment advisor for 25 years, including human development. In these 8 years, I have been working as interviewer of nursing care authorization, including dementia elderly and city government. In private, I'm lecturer for Japanese and foreign care workers. This is the contents of my presentation today. First, I'm going to introduce you Japanese traditional value about food. Second, food service for aged. And third, assistive device, which is one of the social welfare equipment. I want to share with you Japanese value about food. Many Japanese say, take your time and make sure you chew well to promote preventing obesity, diabetic, and dementia. Also, to promote development of brain and taste. Eat alternately to get nutrition better. Starting from drinking miso soup to smooth throat. Eat vegetables to get dietary fiber. Eat fish and meat to get protein. And we eat rice so that it tastes good and also reduce carbohydrate absorption. And repeat. Enjoy meal with 5 senses by visual, hearing, mouthfeel, smell, and taste. If you have a chance to come to Japan, please eat and enjoy sushi, sukiyaki, and tempura. Eat until you are 80% full. That means moderate eating keeps the doctor away. But important point to enjoy meal for aged is time with family members. I think same in all over the world. Aged with abundant experience will teach young generation about traditional cook. If aged have a role to cook, it's effective not to be dementia. We Japanese can see these families in the rural area, but unfortunately not in urban area in these days. Number of living alone over 65 years old in Japan. 22.4% in female, 15.5% in male in 2020, and still increasing. So this is one of the image of elderly or aged who live in urban area alone. They feel loneliness, lose appetite, and lose motivation to live. But don't worry, we have a choice to enjoy various meals. For example, at home, there are delivery meal box service considered for aged who has dietary restrictions and swallowing difficulty. If they choose to go to day service, they do physical exercise and swallowing exercise like pa 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 pa, ta 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 ta, ka 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 ka, la 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 la, which we called patakara exercise. And they enjoy lunch together. There are some non-profit restaurants for children whose house has not enough income. If restaurants invite aged who live alone, both of them will be happy. Aged with abundant experience can teach them traditional game and homework. This is digression. Because I was brought up in Malaysia and Singapore, I really love to cook and eat spicy Asian ethnic food. And I always cook like this food. But sometimes I feel a little bit oily. And I had a chance to interview with foreigners in Japan. They answered, we got weight after 40 years old. We got diabetics and started to take medicine. We think our food is oily compared with Japanese. We have to start diet, but it's difficult to continue. We have to pay attention to our food in Japan, especially in the winter. Our body tries to absorb and accumulate nutrients a lot in the winter season. But Japanese food is salty. The ideal amount of salt consumed for a person one day by WHO is less than 5 grams. But we Japanese took it around 11.5 in 2005. And Japanese tried to cut it around 9.9 gram in 2019. We Japanese have to cut down on salt more and more. I also cook Japanese food and I try to cut down salt by using fish soup and vinegar. I also try to cook lunchbox and bring it to office, which is healthy menu and economy. I can cook many kinds of variation, but do you think Japanese meal over 60 years old can cook by themselves? Some of them can, but I think mostly they cannot. But don't worry, they have cooking class for male, so that elderly or aged male can learn how to cook and basic nutrition to keep health. Another example at facility. Of course they eat together, and if they still have ability to go outside or to do that something by themselves, they can enjoy farm work and also cooking in some facilities. So from here, I'm going to introduce you what is social welfare equipment. According to the law, Act on the Promotion of Research, Development, and Dissemination of Social Welfare Equipment. Social welfare equipment is to improve activities of daily living and to rehabilitate elderly who has disability of daily life by deterioration of mental and physical function. There are two purposes of social welfare equipment. First one is supporting independence for eating, for drinking, for transfer, and for moving, etc. Second one is reduce care burden of family and care worker for getting up on the bed, for changing posture, and for transfer, etc. Assistive device is focusing on supporting independence. Benefits and disadvantages. About assistive device, I can say using appropriate equipment promotes quality of life. Elderly can use 24 hours and 365 days without hesitation. Anyone can provide care with constant quality. Reduce care burden physically, but may take time to prepare. Very useful, but may be dangerous if used wrongly. Meaning we eat by ourselves. Usually, when we eat food out by ourselves, we decide when, where, with whom, and what we are going to eat. What if we get cerebral infarction and right side hemiplegia? How are we going to eat? Do we ask family members or care workers for help? I think we want to eat by ourselves and want to choose what we eat, how much we eat, and also how much time we need to eat. If an elderly shall practice using assistive device, they can eat by themselves and savor the taste of what they eat. Why don't you experience role play sometimes? Having someone assist you to eat so that you will understand what I am explaining to you now. So from here, I'm going to introduce you some products. And this presentation is cooperated by Saito Industrial Corporation and Wind. Now you can watch the video.
This product is designed for elderly who is difficult to use chopsticks by using fingers unwell or decrease grip strength. Because the grip is made by soft and non-slip sponge, elderly can grip easily. Also, we can bend and adjust angle so that elderly can eat by themselves. Now I will try to eat by myself. Taiwanese sweet. Tastes good. This is called spoon chopstick. With this, we can sting, scoop, hook, cut, pinch, and put on. This is very useful. This is assistive device chopsticks named Hashizo-kun, very famous in Japan. With this, I can eat by myself very easy. Manufacturer with this product will increase motivation of elderly, not just eating, but any situation of activities of daily living. Thank you.
We usually buy assistive device, but they are order-made assistive device. There are some assistive device studio in all over Japan, and which is handmade. A number of fabrication laboratory has been increased, and most of them are made by 3D printer, which is cheap cost, and easy to make it. I also want to introduce you special care bed. Usually, we Japanese have two motors bed, and three motors bed, which function is adjust height to prevent from back pain of care workers or families. Adjust back rising to get up easily. Adjust back raising and knee rising separately. And we also have four motors bed by Seahonets Corporation. Adjust the angle of head to prevent from swallowing. Bedridden aged usually only see seeing, but if they could look straight and talk with someone, it stimulates brain to prevent from dementia. Japanese care style is focusing on respect human dignity, supporting independence, and arranging care environment. Social welfare equipment and care robot is effective. Assistive device is effective for eating by themselves. This is the rest of my lecture about care in English. If you can read QR code, please enjoy my lecture, each around 10 minutes. So thank you very much for listening. I hope to see you someday in the future, in the near future.